Biggest crocodile skulls.
To be safe, the actor needed to know exactly how a large constrictor kills, just as Donald Strider does.
East over here is a Mexican West Coast rattlesnake. That is a big boy. Holy moly.
Lived, but others have died. However, there is a weird
You see that looking at you, head for the... Here we have the Eastern Diamondback, another Eastern Diamondback.
Zombies are a Caribbean legend, of course. Nothing to do with this African funeral. Except, maybe they are. Voodoo came from the West African
He's curious.
religion, taken to the Americas.
And he's sort of in a bit of a striking.
We now know that
Here we have a South American rattlesnake.
every year in Africa, 500,000 people are bitten by snakes.
Oh. Oh my god.
So many people, especially.
Oh wow. Okay, so this is like the...
So before we read,
Oh, look at that one.
Amongst these 25,000 deaths,
Dude.
stories abound of the living.
I like albino.
Here is a Great Basin rattlesnake. Beautiful colors. This snake is just, it's fed, it's relaxing.
Oh, check this one out.
These are going to be around Nevada and California.
The victim's face would be drained of blood.
Rattlesnake, the most beautiful rattlesnake. Look at that. An ivory albino western diamondback.
Sometimes a mere scratch is enough to kill a person.
It's a stunning animal.
Now the puffadder here has a completely different mechanism of biting. Puffadder is one of the fastest
Western
striking
albino.
snakes.
No, this is a normal albino.
You can imagine that from a coiled up position, lunging forwards, injecting its venom and back again. The fangs of the puffadder are hollow, so they inject venom through the fang into their victim. It's a cytotoxin.
The infamous Gila monster. One of the few venomous lizards in the world. It won't kill you, but it will make you really sick. And they tend to sneak around and hide like that. See, he's hiding behind this cactus. Here's a kick and paws, or rather, a red diamond rattlesnake.
Here we have an invasive organism that is very effective at eating all the species that we're trying to destroy.
Curious about the
In an attempt to
filming.
control numbers, locals are being trained to capture and kill any pythons they see.
timber rattlesnake. These things are really dangerous, and they're aggressive.
It wasn't actually wrapped around his neck, not like the way this is looking around the arm here. With Jimmy.
I'm going to take you on a tour of the Rattlesnake Museum
Mycotoxin
in New
in the
Mexico.
venom has now reached its target, his muscles.
This guy right here. This
The toxic
tortoise is over
molecules
100 years
start to
old,
attack the muscle cells.
and he's over here
Each one
resting
swelling.
next to him and back.
The swelling causes so much pressure that blood can no longer reach the muscles, and they die. The toxic waste from the dying cells
You can hear the rattles.
starts to contaminate Mike's body, and as it does so, some bizarre side effects occur.
The process of waking up would be a sort of waking up to
I'm going to take you on a tour. This is a tour of the Rattlesnake Museum. This is a tour of the Rattlesnake Museum in New Mexico. Here's a Western Diamondback.
I'm outside again somehow.
This is one of the most
Every time that happened, I would look at my
aggressive, poisonous snakes
bigger
in the desert.
and
Here's a friend over here. 100-year-old tortoise.
Meanwhile, enzymes in the venom have been literally digesting the muscles in his arm.
Here's a vitriol
These are the same
rattlesnake.
type of enzymes that we have in our stomachs to break up proteins in meat. The tissue rots. His arm swells to 3 times its normal size, and the dead tissue turns black.
And you may even have this as a pet, this bearded
So
dragon.
on Tuesday morning, when I finally established that it was Tuesday morning, I'd heard from the radio. And I remembered that it had been Thursday night that I'd been dropped off, and had made arrangements with my friend to come.
And here's a whole collection of rattlesnakes.
Sunday that I would be wanting to
Northern
be picked
Pacific.
up. And here it is Tuesday, so I've been there for 5 days, and my friend is not there, so I know something is wrong.
Unknown to Mike, there'd been a
The
flash
Egyptian
flood,
rattlesnake.
making the road impassable. His friend was delayed for another days before he finally arrived.
This guy's over here resting.
So,
Here's a
after a full week
southwestern
without treatment,
species
Mike was eventually
rattlesnake
rushed to
right
hospital.
here.
There, a surgeon was able to operate on his own.
Look at his scales.
He said he opened it up and it just glopped out in one mass. He said it was like an old rotted peach, kind of dry and coarse and just in one mass pretty much. And then they went into my fingers, they sliced open the back.
Playing
some sort of irrigation, to walk
different
on all the dead
rattlesnake
flesh,
handlers
and it was completely
who have been
digestible
bitten
at that point.
badly.
That's essentially what the
That's what you're hearing in the background.
In a scene,
Now here's some non-venomous snakes, but a beautiful boa.
And what makes sea
Or rather,
snakes so
excuse
much
me,
more dangerous than
a
rattlesnakes?
ball python.
Today, Brian Grigg Fry will attempt to catch an olive sea snake, then milk it and analyze its venom. Only now are we beginning to understand
Here's a South American
just how
rattlesnake.
complex venoms are. We know this single snake can kill a person, but what exactly is in its venom that does so much damage? Olive sea snakes
Here's
are
a
fishy,
midget prairie
searching them
rattlesnake.
out
It's pretty
using a
curious.
well-developed sense of smell. They're actually short-sighted and inquisitive. They swim up to divers, not to attack.
Here's the
but to
Arizona black
investigate.
rattlesnake.
Like almost all venomous animals, they're not naturally aggressive towards us.
Here is
We even
a
handle them. If
prairie
you know
rattlesnake.
The tragic irony for all people bitten by venomous animals is that the venom is not intended for humans. And anyway, the animals have no need to kill anything. What they do need to do is to immobilize. And that's why this snake is so incredibly toxic. It needs
These are
to
just
instantly
incredible.
stop any fish it bites from swimming away.
Here's an eastern
So let's
diamondback.
discover how this particular venom does its job. Back in the lab, Brian
And a
starts to break the
Mexican
venom down.
coast
Like an
rattlesnake.
orchestra, venoms contain many different components, working in symphony. A computer will determine
This is
how
a Burmese
many
python.
exactly
These are beautiful.
I wonder how often she just gets like stuck.
And as Brian works, it becomes clear that this venom is a particularly rich breed. Already the computer is showing 40 different components to the sea snake's venom.
And
By combining
this
each component with living muscle cells, he discovers that most
is one of the
are
largest
biotoxins,
lizards in New
the
Mexico.
molecules that attack your muscles. But there are others with different colors. And the screen shows the final results. Blue dots for
This one's
biotoxins,
cool. I don't remember seeing this one.
red dots for other cells.
Scales are cool because like they're two colors. These are like black. Like a white.
Should we just take in the same way so we've got the head?
Here's a collection of desert horned toads.
Okay, that is a very big.
Which are really lizards, not toads.
That is a huge.
Just to show you this guy's, this
I was like, yeah, this big. I thought mine was a big snake when I saw it.
And that's 4 meters.
Wow.
this is a big red diamond rattlesnake.
Okay, we've got the University's Reptile Anatomy, so obviously looking after the science and the intersection. Your first impressions, Jeanette, about these? So this is a
This is a Mojave rattlesnake. These things are deadly venomous. You do not want to encounter that when you're in the Mojave Desert.
So from an anatomy and a dissection point of view, is this going to be a suitable candidate? It's a great snake in terms of the size.
Here is this is a beautiful green snake, a green tree python, kind of small for a python. This is very beautiful. Excuse me.
Can keep predators away. Red next to yellow will kill a fellow is a useful rhyme about a coral snake. It is nice.
Here's the eastern
Red
diamondback.
next to black is a friend of Jack. Is true for a milk snake. It mimics warning colors and only pretends to be dangerous. A pretend head keeps
This is it.
of a Calabar ground python safe. The real head has a tongue that gives it away. But the deception can be good enough to cause a predator to attack the tail by mistake. And a tail is not a vital organ. Often the brilliant colors and patterns of a snake's skin are not a warning, but a subtle camouflage.
Here's a banded rattlesnake.
Surroundings. And to us, it can look beautiful.
Banded rock rattlesnake. Here's a molten rock rattlesnake. You ever heard of this? A mottled rock rattlesnake. These are in Mexico.
Are not easily seen.
They're pretty rare.
Useful quality which suits these masters of ambush perfectly. But the beauty and subtlety
Here's
of
a black-tailed
snakes has also
rattlesnake.
been their undoing for thousands of years.
And here is a timber rattlesnake that we looked at another one of these.
Traditionally used by hunters in Cameroon to expose the hiding places of aggressive rock pythons. Entering an art.
I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more videos like that, please like and subscribe. Here is an amazing timber rattlesnake.
His companions keep track.
These are back east. They're in Kentucky. I've encountered those. He's just resting. Amazing animal. Very smart. The Rattlesnake Museum, the best one in the world, of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Firearms have made it easier to kill other animals for food.
Whole collection.
But the meat on this snake in former times would have been essential, and its skin a profitable result.
Nicest snakes here, a New Mexico milk snake. These are good pets. Milk snakes usually are in the they are in the king snake group, and they're a species of king snakes. Here it is, the infamous Gila monster. He has decided to come out and say hello. When that head they will latch onto you and try to rip your skin.
At this stage, his own body is starting to work against him.
Found this in my living room, which I'm not real thrilled about.
Allowing the cardiotoxin easy access to the prey's heart. Humans are also accidental victims of box jellyfish.